Hi everyone, Richard DeBanks from Athletic Alliance, the company that makes you better, faster, stronger, and smarter. And I am coming to you from sweltering hot British Columbia on this August day, and the air is thick with smoke from all the wildfires, but that's not going to stop us. We are going to do a video, and today the focus is on smarter because I will blow your mind. I want to talk to you about Mr. T and why Mr. T is the best-selling testosterone booster in Canada, and in my opinion, the best natural testosterone booster in the world. All right, and I'm going to get into a little bit of science, not too much to bore everybody, but I think it's important whenever we have ingredients and focus on ingredients that we should know where the studies are. You should be able to access them yourself, so I'm going to throw a few of those in there, okay? All right, so Mr. T works in 4 ways. Number 1, it increases testosterone. Number 2, it inhibits or decreases estrogen. Number 3, it reduces cortisol, and that's actually, there's a lot kind of packed in that function alone. But we'll get to that. And number 4, it increases your sex drive. Now, most people won't know this, and this is shocking information, but we are undergoing a dramatic change in society right now. There's been a few studies that have come out. Some have made the news. In my opinion, there hasn't been enough focus on them, but they are game-changing clinical studies on the result of what's happening to men. Most of us know that testosterone begins to decline in men after the age of 30. Starts declining, sort of picks up speed around 35, 40, and continues. What most people don't know is that there has been a dramatic decline in average testosterone levels for men right across the Western world. Canada, US, North America, probably Europe as well. Now there's a study. I'm going to show you a study. This is from the Massachusetts study on male aging. And what the study found, the study followed a group of men, or tested otherwise healthy men between the ages of 45 and 71 and 50 and 80. And what the study found, that from 1987 to 1989, median total testosterone was 500. That's 500 millimoles. In 1995 to 1997, just 8 years, that average had dropped more than 10%, about 15%, down to 435. Slightly older group that they tested, but still, that's a pretty noticeable drop. And in 2002, just 7 years afterwards, from 2002 to 2005, the median total testosterone had dropped again, all the way down to 391. That is a pretty profound drop. We're talking over the space of 15 years, a drop of about 25%, at least more than 20%. And if you don't know what some of the symptoms of low testosterone are, there's quite a few. There's lowered sex drive, there's lowered semen volume, there's depression, irritability, some hair loss, trouble sleeping, just trouble with motivation and drive in general. Of course, a loss of muscle mass, an increase in body fat, and you know, these are all things that you would see in a man over 40. You start to see these kind of signs, and that is down to testosterone, right? And so these are some pretty dramatic symptoms, and for this to be happening across all of society, we can speculate on why that is. We can speculate on whether that is, you know, chemicals, could be the effect of birth control pills, increasing the estrogen in the water, some of the chemicals used in plastics, soy even. There's a lot of different reasons. But, so that brings us to one of the first major ingredients in Mr. T. One of the first major ingredients is ashwagandha. And not just any ashwagandha, it's a patented type of ashwagandha. It's KSM 66. What KSM 66 is, it's sort of a certification that only the root, which is the most potent and consistent part of the ashwagandha plant, is used. So take a look at a study on ashwagandha from India. There was 46 different men involved in the study. 21 received the ashwagandha, 25 were in the placebo group. And after 90 days, the group, and these are healthy men, I believe the ages were between 18 and 45. And after 90 days, the group receiving the ashwagandha had an increase in testosterone of plus 17%. So that is not insignificant, plus 17% in the group that was receiving ashwagandha. And what's interesting about this study, those are not insignificant results, that's plus 17%. This is in a study of otherwise healthy men. The study was conducted in India, men between the ages of 18 and 45, and the only real issues they had was potential infertility. So that is a pretty significant increase, 17%. That just shows you the impact that ashwagandha makes. And like I say, in Mr. T, we use the KSM 66, which is the best version of ashwagandha. Okay, now another interesting thing that has just made the news recently, but it's not surprising when you consider the declining levels of testosterone. Men's sperm counts are down worldwide. So in Western countries, including men in North America, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, sperm counts in less than 40 years, sperm counts have declined by 50%. 50%. So of all the things I thought I would be doing, when I was a kid, I didn't think I would be making videos and talking about sperm and semen volume. But here we are. This is the current year, right? 50% is not insignificant. I mean, you may hear a lot of stuff in the news now along with about fertility rate declining, people not having kids. This is a major contributor. I mean, sperm counts, they're in the hundreds of millions. But I don't know what the exact threshold is, but for anybody that sort of would be borderline, a decline of 50% in that kind of group, that would be catastrophic. That would move you from the fertile to the infertile category. And along with the testosterone, these sperm count, this is something that we see accelerating. So it's not a blip, it's not a temporary thing, it's getting worse. But again, we have some good news. Let's take a look. So in the same study, and you can see the reference here, this is the Testosterone and Reproductive Health, KSM 66 ashwagandha. In the group of men that were tested, and again, this was 90 days, there was a 167% increase in sperm count. 167% increase. There was a 53% increase in semen volume and a 57% increase in sperm motility on 90 days from the baseline. So there you go. We see some disturbing trends, but there is good news. And like I say, this is why I think Mr. T is the best testosterone boosting supplement on the planet, because it directly tackles both those pressing issues, and it does it with strong, proven clinical trials. Okay, so aside from that, also staying on KSM 66 and ashwagandha, it reduces anxiety, it reduces cortisol. And if you don't know what cortisol is a hormone that it comes from things like lack of sleep, and stress, and it tends to break down muscle mass, and it tends to give you that kind of thickness, that sort of middle-aged spread that you get around the middle. That's from cortisol. So I have more clinical studies I can show at a later date that address that. We also have tribulus. We also have horny goatweed for the sex drive. We also have DIM in there, which inhibits estrogen. And finally, last but not least, one important factor with Mr. T, Testosterone Catalyst, is that we get it certified by the Banned Substance Control Group. So what does that mean? Okay, well, if you get something certified by the Banned Substance Control Group, that means, number one, you can use this in a drug-tested sport. That it is drug-free. There are no contaminants in there and no ingredients that would cause you to fail a drug test. And let me tell you, getting testosterone boosters certified is not easy. They're very stringent with the testing procedures on that. It also means that what we say on the label is actually in the product. So not only is it certified drug-free, there are no contaminants, no junk that might find its way in there, and what's on the label is in the product, okay? So please hit like and subscribe. We're gonna have a whole bunch of other videos that go into more depth even on ingredients, clinical trials. We have a series of videos coming up called Stronger, showing people how to get stronger. And hit like and hit subscribe and watch for more great stuff, because here's the gem. Anybody that subscribes to this during the month of August will receive 75% off an Athletic Alliance product. That's for the month of August. And I saved this little gem right for the end of the video so that anybody who watches it right to the end will see 75% off. You're gonna see the coupon below. It'll just say 75, okay? So thanks a lot, and until next time, stay strong.